that might be the setup. We drive to Ventura. Some AC. It has been warm for our standards this last maybe a week. Let's see, 88 right now. I was working last night at my kitchen table and my legs were sticky and my underwears was sticky. Just that type of just damp enough and moist enough where it's uncomfortable. And it was, up until 11:15 at night. So I'm ready for sweatshirt weather. I love hoodies, I think because it can hide my skinny fatness. And so if I had my choice, pants, slippies, and a hoodie. So I can get away with hoodies for about half the day. Even last weekend, we had a tournament and we were at a private school where they had air conditioning in the gym. So I was able to wear it all day, and then I was feeling a little bit heated, literally, at the end of the day, about 3 or 4 o'clock, but I was so sweated through in that shirt that it would have been a sweaty pit stain situation t-shirt if I took my hoodie off. And then I walked out to the car and it was, blazingly hot, 97 degrees in the car at Oaks Christian right there in Westlake Village. But back into the air conditioning, and so I guess it's okay if you're in air conditioning all the time, which we were in air conditioning all day in the gym. I was in air conditioning in the morning and when I was driving in my car and on the way home driving my car. So that's the type of area you live in, like in the deserts or Arizona, or it's just too hot to even do anything outside. You just jumping from air conditioning to air conditioning. I could get it, but it's not the most. But we have such great weather here. It's a good, consistent, 70-ish, a good part of the year. And our winters don't ever get that cold. Maybe 40-ish for a little bit in the morning. But it always seems to burn off and get nice by midday afternoon. But prime hoodie wearing, that's for sure. So, on game days, I'm just trying to get on the freeway by 3 o'clock so I can miss most of the traffic. And I've been debating all day if I'm going to eat when I get down there. I want to. Just don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger. I've been pretty good the last month or so about not eating a ton, when I go to away games and splurging. Although the one big one we did, I did splurge. But I had Skylar with me, and that was really fun. And I bought a packet of, we were at, what was it, Bristol Farms or Whole Foods? One of those fancy grocery stores. And I was looking for the candy, and because I've been laying off it for quite a while. So I was like, this is one time, we'll splurge. And I got this little clear box full of sour gummy rips, the sour rips. I didn't see a price on it. I was like, how much could it be? It ended up being $22. The only reason I found out was because I scanned it. At that point, you can't take it back. So it is what it is. We might have bought 6 or 7 items. I think I spent $55 at Bristol Farms, but it was worth it. It was fun. And yes, food will go to waste sometimes, but there are bigger things to worry about than wasted money and wasted food, if you ask me. So, it's been kind of a weird couple of days. I just worked, I worked a lot yesterday and today. We got to work at 5:45 yesterday, and I worked until about 1:45, and and then I went to practice, and then we went to Oakley's first soccer practice, which was really fun. She did awesome, even though she was picking up the ball with her hands, which she wasn't supposed to. But it's first practice. I guess you're gonna figure that out later. And then we ate, and I put him to bed, and then I worked again from, was it 8:20 to almost 11:15, and then I think excited that I had worked so much yesterday, so I stayed up watching more volleyball, and while I was working, I was kind of listening and watching to a couple of volleyball matches. So I felt like I was getting paid to watch volleyball, but I was still processing work orders at the same time. So I think for me, that's the key. It's like, I guess I don't mind working as long as I'm kind of distracted at the same time. That's how I can work. I can't just sit in silence and work. Hence why I can't really do much inside. I can coach. I don't have music on when I coach matches, but usually during practice there's music going on. Not my headphones or anything, but yeah, I'm sleeping with headphones in. I'm falling asleep with stuff, which is all I know. It's a terrible thing. I'm not letting my brain have any escape from all these external stimuli and whatnot, but that's just kind of the human being I've morphed into, and I would love to be otherwise. And is that Timmy driving a different rig today? He's testing it out, our mechanic for our shop. But yeah, I worry about that. Just me setting a bad example for my kids, them seeing me on my phone or listening to stuff all the time. On the same token, it kind of relaxes me, and it kind of gives me a sense of like focus. And like right now, I'm not listening to anything, but I'm trying to do something and keep myself focused as I'm driving to Ventura, and it's fun. And the 12 views that I might get is fun to me. And I have aspirations of that would be fun to be a YouTuber and have a following and all that. But if you just stop and think about the grand scheme of how many people are all doing that, if you just think about how many people all have 1 million or more subs, that's pretty gnarly just to think about. There's so many people in the world. There's so many lanes of content and entertainment that I think also on the same token, it's fun just to think that a couple people might enjoy this. I don't know. And then at least now I'm saying, well, at least I can't say I never tried. So I think we're approaching 100 episodes, 100 chapters, 100 little videos of thoughts, and that's pretty cool. I started it when I busted my finger in 2021, just in the beginning of 2021. Yeah, and that first video was almost like 45 minutes, and that might be the only one where I'm sitting in not my car. Obviously, I do these in my car because I'm too embarrassed to do them at my house where somebody might listen or hear or come see me. And I did that first one on a Monday or two when my wife was at work and my kids were at daycare, and I was just sitting at home, just trying to recover. And I just thought it was fun. I thought it was fun to talk to the camera, but not really the camera. But it's been helpful too. I feel like I've gotten to know myself a little bit better and gotten to understand the things that I struggle with. But yeah, I don't know if I'm this type of dude that can not like be completely 100% free of technology. I think I'm just too it's just too big a part of me at this point. Although I am really into these like solo camping or solo like wilderness like videos and camping and van life stuff. I don't know, I just kind of romanticize about being away from people in solitude and just enjoying how beautiful nature is and whatnot. And we did go camping once this summer, but I wouldn't say it was solitary or peaceful. It was in nature at Lake Casitas, but it was a couple days after the 4th of July. We were celebrating my oldest daughter's birthday. She turned 8, which is incredible. I don't know how life speeds up. So, I mean, I do get it. This summer flew by because I have 3 children and they all have places to go and things to do. You try during the day, and we have work, and I'm trying to get a jog in, and then I'm trying to like have some time with my wife and eat food and get 8 hours of sleep, which I don't very often. Maybe once a week I've been able to do that, but it's difficult, and I understand why and then we added a practice in with like 4 weeks left of summer. We started practicing every day. So now that was an extra 2 hours that is a part of the day which I'm doing, which I love, and then another 2 hours that I had to try and figure out how to make up. And then I started, I'd say probably the last month of summer, getting up early and trying to run and shower and be ready, get my workout done before everybody wakes up, and I've done it successfully, but it's hard to sustain in the confines of getting 8 hours of work, 8 hours of sleep, enjoying part of my day, spending time with my kids and my wife. It's all a difficult juggling act, but I'm starting to enjoy that challenge and just enjoy how you have to be focused. Oh gosh, and trying to clean your house too. When people say there's not enough time in the day, that it means there's not enough time in the day to have it all. To have a clean house, eat right, get exercise, spend all that good quality time. And if you do, you're not wasting a second. And that's what I'm starting to realize also. And one thing that's been helping the last month or so is I've been drinking a lot less, and I am happier, or I'm trying to convince myself I'm happier, but I do feel like I'm a lot more clear-headed. And I'm also noticing that I'm not really productive whenever I drink at all. Like when you drink, it seems like when you're drinking, then that's what you're doing. You're drinking. You can't really be asked or figuring that you're going to actually really do anything helpful for your life also. And with less drinking, there's come less eating and less money spending. So I'm starting to like have a clue. And is it embarrassing at 39 and a half? I think, half a year ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have said yes, but today I feel like it's okay. This is the time when I'm just figuring it out. And for everyone it's different. And also, one thing I've really, really enjoyed realizing and reminding myself of is that most people don't care. They don't care what you're struggling with, because they're all struggling with their own stuff. And that we're all going to die. And that this life is fleeting, and you're not going to have as much time as you think. And that a day where maybe you don't pack it full of trying to do it all, that it's not that you're not going to regret. I mean, you could say you're going to regret it, but it's just a fact. Like, you're just not going to get it all back. And I'm really understanding that a little bit more. And I'm also still in 100% understanding that I do not feel like an adult at all. And I think I've discussed this before, but I remember in elementary school, I always imagined what it would be like to be a 6th grader. Like, whoa, dude, those are 6th graders. And I remember one 6th grader was in what is it? Oh, a wheelchair because he had a broken leg, or there was a leg in a casket and he couldn't walk. And I thought, whoa, sixth graders, they be doing crazy things where they like break ankles and whatnot. And they just seemed so, like, everything that was going on with them seemed so much more grown up and serious, or seriously funny, or cooler. And then, jump 2 years later when we're all sixth graders, I'm like, it's just me and all these chuckleheads still. This is incredible. There's no sense of like feeling any more figured out whatsoever. And I've been having that same feeling at every cliche benchmark age. Like when I went to high school, I was like, whoa, high school. Nope, we're all just still little kids. And like the first time I had sex, also just, whoa, I'm still just like me, but my weenie got hard and we did the sex. And graduating high school, and you're supposed to have this big epiphany and understanding and really ready to go on to the next chapter. Nope, just the next day, still laughing about farts and weenie jokes and whatnot. And graduating college, oh my God, I got this piece of paper and I studied all this time to do this and that. Nope, a lot of people don't even do what they're go to college for, and it's really just a time to put off being an adult. And I sure did. I definitely took the long way around the bend. I believe by the time I came back to town, I was like 24 and a half, almost. I believe I turned 25 soon after I came back from college, maybe like 4 or 5 months. But I am just realizing that that's okay, and that my journey is pretty cool, and it's okay to me. It could be boring, sure, or it could be interesting. It's all perceived by me, really, because once again, it's nobody really cares that much, unless I guess you present them with a reason to care. So I'm just trying to, and I gotta think some of this less foggy headedness and more sobriety has part to do with it. And I'm just realizing as my kids get older how much influence just the people around them have. My wife and I, being their like best friends and the ones that are around them the most, and how I act is going to have a big influence on how they act. And really trying to be super aware of being positive and supportive and patient more than anything when I'm around the girls. It's not to say I don't slip up at least a little bit every day, but just, I get it, just being around is 90% of an equation that's going to help them in their life. But also, I mean, I see some other people that are even older than me, and the way they carry themselves, and it's maybe they don't understand themselves yet. Maybe that's what I'm saying. And I'm also trying to be way less critical of other people, and worry about myself and the people I'm really around and influenced by, and people I influence day to day. Because I'm so far from being close to like perfect. Like, who am I to judge and talk crap about other people when I have so much on my plate at this point? I'll say one thing I'm just so jazzed about, though, is volleyball still. And I'm noticing this is one of our least talented and experienced team, and I think I'm having one of my more fun seasons, or I'm having the most fun like in quite a while. I think the more that I get to teach and coach, the more fun it is for me just to see them improve and have the light bulb come on. And not to say that winning's not super fun, but think I'm caring a little bit less about my ego coaching and more about just enjoying the time and seeing young people enjoy the same thing I found so much joy in. It's hard. It's hard for me to accept that. It was hard for me to accept that for a long time because I've got such low self-esteem, and I always feel like I'm the worst coach in the gym, and I've always surrounded myself with coaches that are better than me, more experienced than me, that, or at least they talk about and express the breaks of volleyball with more confidence than me. And I think, I don't know, I just too hard on myself, I think, for that reason. Or I don't think that's the most important issue or part of coaching. I think a big part is them seeing how passionate you are about it, and hopefully they make the connection that the life they want to live should be rooted and focused around something that you can see yourself doing every day. And I know I've talked about how, you know, I figured out this passion a little bit too late in life, where financially it's not at my fingertips. Meaning, in my opinion, if you want to make money coaching volleyball, you need to go through the club ranks or the college ranks, and even that is so hard to grind out, because at that time then you got to really win, at least if you're going to be a college coach. But I know that would have been super fun, but I'd never had those avenues because I didn't pursue it in college. I didn't play in college, and that's okay. I wasn't good enough anyways. Had I started playing earlier, like maybe before high school, and then been diehard about it, maybe I could have figured, or turned that into some sort of career. But that's another thing that I've kind of figured out is, I mean, I'm not in the gym every single day. Like, I romanticize about touching, like, physically getting to my gym every day for at least 1 second, just to say I go to the gym every day. Like, I touch my floor every day, which I don't. During seasons, I'll be there 6 days a week sometimes. Not Sundays, and not every Saturday, but like the last 2 weeks we had tournaments on Saturdays for the last 2 Saturdays, and we had practice every day. Well, not even every day, but, had a good little run of, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10 days. But I'm not like making a game every day. I'm not playing indoor volleyball every single day. I don't have a network of people that I can call together and we can play every single day. I've got a wife and 3 daughters. I don't think she would give me the freedom and the time to do that every single day, unless it was we were meeting at 9 p.m. every night or 5 a.m. every morning. And to pull together 11 other people to do that sounds rather difficult. And I'm saying 11 other adults. I don't think I could live with myself if I was having my high school players come to a gym at 9 p.m. on a school night and play till 10:30 or 11. By the time we clean up, it's like 11:30 or so. I don't think parents would sign off. I know they wouldn't. And also it doesn't feel morally right either. So, but am I thinking about it? Am I watching volleyball every day? Like God bless YouTube and Lon vlogs and just all these random places where they'll record college matches, club matches, high school matches, and they post them. Like, there is more matches on the internet than I could ever watch. I worked my way backwards after the boys high school season and watched a ton of the national championships, men's and women's. I think I went all the way back to maybe like 2008 or 2009. But I know if I'm ever bored, I can pull up some volleyball and watch it. National team, U.S. Olympics, sand. I'll even watch some sand volleyball too, even though I don't really know anything about sand volleyball in comparison to beach. But I love it. I could think about and nerd out and talk about statistics and strategy and all things related to indoor volleyball I could talk you out, which means I could talk and make you leave before I left. And it's funny that like I'm a quiet dude, but if you get me talking about the few things that I'm interested in, I'll talk your ear off. And 9 out of 10 times I'll make someone else cut the conversation short or come up with the excuse and leave before I will. I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. And this is most apparent whenever I'm talking to my rival coaches. I'll be catching up with them about family and life, and then or mostly volleyball, but they'll always cut early, and I'll talk your ear off, which is why like Megan and I both are Matt's coaching, her husband is coaching the soccer team that my daughter's on, Oakley's on, and then Faye's on it too, Megan's daughter. And we were at practice for like 2 hours together, and then we both went to the soccer practice, and I think I said one word to her. We made one small joke about us working together and that we're not going to talk about volleyball. And then I literally didn't even stand near her or talk to her, and it's like because like heaven forbid like she's tired of hug for a day, which she probably is, and I know that there can be too much hug for some people. I've had a few players over the years. Like I had one kid that had me as a club coach, had me for 3 years as a JV coach, and then I moved up on varsity. He moved up with me. He had 5 seasons of hug. That's entirely too much. Way too much. So I know when to, for people that are around me a lot, I can feel when it's time for me to stop talking and give them a break. So I'll just go off and mill, or I'll just sit and watch and listen to music and watch volleyball. And I think going to, I came into Dos Bubbles volleyball at an awesome time. Okay, I got to be introduced to volleyball within the 2 or 3 years when they would win our own tournament and then win CIF, which to me are the crowning heights of our volleyball program, the boys volleyball program. And I came back to town right when the girls program was killing it, and they went to 2 CIF finals 2 years in a row, lost the first one to crosstown rival, and then they won the next year, and just had some uber talented players that ended up going to one of the premier colleges in the world on a scholarship. And it ended really well for one and terribly for another one. But we could talk about that another time and my connection to that. But also I've got this cool connection to Santa Barbara volleyball, which has a very unique and I feel important and historic place in volleyball history, indoor and on the sand. Because Karch Karai, I'll always spit out, he's the Michael Jordan of volleyball, went to Santa Barbara High School, one of our rivals, and I'm not even sure, they must have won at least one CIF title, if not 4, because the kid was incredible. But he is the Bob Marley to reggae music, he's the Beatles to rock and roll. He is the most recognizable. He's the Tony Hawk to skateboarding. Karch Karai is to volleyball. sand and indoor. And I think he started on the sand, but he was so successful in the gym and doing I think a high performance, or probably he might even been with the ground level of all that stuff. And the Out of System podcast referenced Santa Barbara and how legendary coaches are, because they were talking to Fishy, who was at they went to the semifinals last year. He's been the coach at Pittsburgh for, what they say, 8 or 9 seasons. And Dan Fisher, you said it, you guessed it right. Yeah, you're correct. Goodland Plumbing put in the new line or whatever we did for his parents on that one street. But Dan Fisher went to Hawaii, played volleyball there, I believe, and then he coached there, I believe. But before all that, he was a Dos Pueblos High School volleyball player. And Doug Partee won a gold medal, and he played at, I believe, UCLA? But before that, he played at Dos Pueblos High School and was coached by Larry Vranish. One of my favorite people in the world, one of my coaching mentors, one of the greatest men that I've ever been around, and really the guy that really put it in my head that being a teacher is a cool thing, and like being a history teacher and a volleyball coach in high school wouldn't be a terrible existence. And I think when I didn't know what I was going to major in, and I was me and my folks were talking about, and we were talking about like marketing and technical writing and teaching, and my mom she thought I would be a good like 6th grade teacher or something. But I always liked high school much better. I think more for the young teen adult activities also, but mainly because of volleyball. I had so much fun watching volleyball years before I would even actually play with any type of seriousness. And just going to all these tournaments with my brother and my folks, just watching all that volleyball, I was just entranced and ensnared. And where I'm going to today, where I always talk about my favorite gym, besides Sovine Gym, sorry, my gym, like I own it, our gym, for everybody that's ever played volleyball or basketball or worked as a PE teacher, had any type of capacity as a coach or teacher in Sovine Gym on the campus of Dos Pueblos. Will forever be my favorite gym. But before that, my other favorite gym is where I'm going to Bob Tuttle Gym at the Ventura High School, because this is the place where I saw my first indoor volleyball match ever, and words couldn't describe, because all I needed to see was first it was the sounds, and then it was just the sheer joy and athleticism and flying that I saw all kinds of dudes doing. Saw dudes that were 6'8", and I saw dudes that were maybe 5'8" or 5'9", and they were both soaring, and people were getting blown up and keeping the ball alive, and there was and the blocking and the trash talking with your eyes, and the celebration. And I don't think there's another sport that looks so fun, where you don't have to kill yourself like in football to enjoy that. It's physical without ever touching your opponent, unless by accident, or you get in a fight, or you give them a high five at the end of the day. But man, yeah, I came to Bob Tuttle Gym in Ventura for my brother's Frosh Soft match. If he played another one before that, I know there was probably the scrimmage, but nothing sticks out in my head so vividly than this first time when we drove down here. And yeah, I'm sure his game was pretty average Frosh Soft, just like free it over, free it over. Maybe somebody swings and it goes in, and maybe someone serves it in. And then the JV match was probably a little bit more entertaining, but I mean, I saw Cameron Mount jump and swing and just annihilate a ball, turn around and just let out a Viking roar as all 5 guys on the court just like mobbed him, and it was just like, it was incredible. It was like watching 2 boxers go at it, and no one was trying to block the punches. They were just taking it and then being super like excited with themselves that it went through, and it was just incredible. It also they made it look really easy, but I also kind of knew in my head that this was this was a difficult sport to play, and it looked like so much fun, and I couldn't wait, and those seemed like 3 of the longest years of my life until I could get to high school to play indoor volleyball and be in first period and just like learn and try and hit the ball. And obviously I was terrible at first, and nothing clicks right away, and it's such a sport where it's such a process too. I don't remember being excited about the process with other sports like I did with volleyball. Maybe it's because it's the first sport, maybe it's skateboarding also, but it's like the first sport that I started doing when I was a lot older. You know, the other ones I started when I was probably before kindergarten, and you're like a little kid then. But when you're like a teenager and you're trying to figure the stuff out, it was different. And I think also it just kind of it stokes your ego, and so I think I kind of liked it that way, just because I don't know, I just liked it. And maybe that's what we're looking for when we're trying to establish things that we're passionate about, is you're looking for the thing that you enjoy so much that you can't even put it into words why you like it so much, but it's there, and that's what you love. And maybe that's it. I think that has to be part of it. Well, I made it to Ventura. I think I'm gonna get some In-N-Out. 'Cause why not? And I've been watching so much burger videos. It's time. It's time to get a burger. I will talk to you later.